Good evening. Welcome to another edition of New World Sounds. I'm your host, Mike the Millionaire. And stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to have a special guest who's going to talk about health and wellness as soon as we come back from the break. Welcome again, and we are joined with Lawrence Gamble. He is a licensed acupuncturist. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Likewise. All right. You do a great work in the community. Tell us a little bit how you got started in acupuncture.
Well, it's a bit of a long story. It started when I was a young man in my early 20s. I wound up contacting with asthma, and I started reading a book called Back to the Land. And I was going to doctors for a couple of years, taking a lot of steroids and medication, but it didn't seem to help. And I was a pretty good athlete at that time, and I couldn't really play sports because of it. It would stop me from playing. So I read this book, and it made some suggestions about dietary changes and herbs, which I tried, and I actually cured myself of asthma.
Oh, wow.
So that sent me off on a quest to keep learning about natural healing methods, and that's pretty much how it started.
Wow, so you actually used herbs, you went the traditional route before that.
Yes, I went traditional route because the medication actually caused me to have a lot of weight issues and blew up kind of big from the steroids, you know. And yeah, it was after that. It was just like I was always self-studying, trying to learn. You know, as a matter of fact, after a few years, my family even were calling me the Bushman. They were coming to me for tea and everything. So yeah,
Wow.
You know, so that's how it started. And I got into the hospitals, and from being involved with martial arts in my early 30s. I learned about something called Qigong, and I went and I tried it and I liked it, and I went 3 years to learn how to become a teacher of it. I liked it so much. Wow. And in that process, I had to go to Oriental Medical School in Portland. That's where the master was, and I learned about the Meridians, and that's when I said, this is what I want to be. So that's how it started. Yeah.
So for the listeners, when you say the Meridians, what are you referring to?
Well, Asian medicine is based on energetics. The anatomy is based on the energy in the body. We call it chi, or prana, or these different names for it. It's in the ether. It's all around us, but it's also in each organ. So chi is a universal substance that surrounds us, but it also has characters based on where it is. For instance, liver chi has a certain character, certain personality, heart chi. But these meridians are pathways that run through the body that allow you to, by using needles, which are, metal, because this is an electrical system. It's a bioelectrical system. So when you have illness, it's basically, all illness comes from a blockage or an obstruction of the natural flow of chi. Chi will always bring itself back to homeostasis or try to bring you into health. So when you study these different meridians and different symptoms that people may have, you know which meridian might be involved, and you put a needle in these certain points along the meridian, which are areas of least resistance. And that causes the blood to flow again, and then all of a sudden the body can do its job, which is to always keep the body in health. So the acupuncture is not the panacea or the medicine. The medicine is in your body. The acupuncture just activates it.
Wow.
Yeah, the human body is amazing what it can do. It can always. We can go over this. That's a whole other story. But yeah, acupuncture, and thousands of years ago, they figured this out by having some kind of way of knowing about the inner workings of the body that we have seemed to lose, but we're starting to get back to, hopefully. And
you're a licensed practitioner?
Yes, I'm licensed in New York State. I've been practicing about 14 years now, located in Brooklyn. My practice is more general practice, but I do have certain specialties that I do, which is something called Shonishin. It's a pediatric form of acupuncture. From new birth all the way to the age of 12. This method involves not sticking any needles in. It's not insertive and it's non-invasive, but they use certain implements, handmade tools that just massage meridians on children, and it really does great things. I have seen some amazing things done with this. And also Qigong is something that I do Qigong healing, using the energy without using needles, just using the hands and different techniques and different sounds and everything to get rid of these blockages also. So those are the main things that I do outside of the general practice of acupuncture, which is just pain or autoimmune diseases, MS, all kind of things. Yeah, acupuncture is functional medicine, and even though you could have a name of a disease that has 15 syllables to it, doesn't matter. If you find out what the imbalance is, you keep it simple and treat where the imbalance is, and the body does the rest.
So no matter what they call the disease, so it's just basically blockages, you're saying?
That's right. It's basically a blockage of the flow, of the natural flow of your internal environment. So, and Western medicine tends to treat these long syllable diseases, they treat the symptoms. That's why there isn't really any cure. You have to get to the root of the problem. And then the body is the best thing to get rid of any kind of bacteria. So when you take antibiotics, you may drive the bacteria deeper into your body, because a bacteria is a live organism. When you give it a synthetic thing to kill it, it can mutate and change and go deeper in the body and hide. So the symptoms disappear, but it's still inside your body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long have you been, and how long has your practice been going as far as like working with patients? How long have you been set up?
Well, I've been doing this like 14 years, and mostly in Brooklyn. Is where, like I said, but I've been doing it 14 years, and I've had the opportunity to travel to Japan a couple of times with my teacher. See, because when I came out of school, I had a teacher. After 4 years of school, I got actually someone who let me apprentice with them, and she's Japanese. Her name is Kiko Matsumura, and I have to give her great appreciation, because without her, I wouldn't have a practice, because she taught me the real acupuncture and what it can do. So that allowed me to have a successful practice, and to get real effective results with people. So yeah, I've been in practice, and I'm still learning. It's the type of thing where you never stop learning. And Qigong is like that too. Qigong is just it's like a deep sea. It just never, because it's based on the truth, you know.
Which one would you say is more effective, Qigong or acupuncture?
That's a good question. I would say when it comes time to stressful situations, stress like disease that's caused by stress or emotional problems, Qigong, because that's pure energy. Because the thought process, the mind doesn't turn off, or you have depression or you have anger that you can't control, the Qigong works better. Acupuncture is effective, but acupuncture, you can't just put the needles in. You have to talk to them and get to the root, let them be aware of what they're really angry at, or aware of what they're depressed about, so that they can, because once you're aware of something, it can't do anything to you. When you know that this is, wow, that's why I'm doing it, you now have knowledge, you have power. But Qigong works on a deeper level where you don't even have to know that. It just kind of removes this energy and gives you a chance to see things clearly, and then you figure it out yourself.
Really?
So if you're doing acupuncture with emotional problems and things like this, you have to be aware to be able to talk to the patient or the client and say, you know, it has to be more of a session where it's a little bit of a mind-to-mind thing too, see? But the Qigong works on such a deep level that, you know, because it's magnetic and electrical. Our hands, these parts of our hands, every human being has the ability to heal. Some people are at a higher level than others, but there's two huge chakras called Lao Gong. And that's why everybody, when you stub your toe, the first thing you do is grab your foot and hold your breath. That's a natural instinct, because what you're doing, you're infusing qi, healing energy, into that wherever you hit your knee. Everybody does that instinctively, right? So so that's what happens with Qigong. It's such a goes way back to our beginnings in the very womb. That these energy systems are there. See, so Qigong is more, I would say, much more powerful in those situations.
Wow. And so you've had a lot of success working with patients? I've had, surprising to me, surprising. I mean, I've seen my teacher, what happened, I've seen my teacher work. You know, I mean, the first time I saw her, I went to one of her master classes. A guy came in, he was shaking with Parkinson's. And that's the first time I ever saw. She put him on the table and she did this thing with the needles, and the man got off the table, he was hardly shaking at all. Really?
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I've been to school 4 years. I never saw anybody do that. And I realized that by seeing her over and over again, put that in my mind that this is possible. Because with everything we do, the mind is part of it, right? So if I don't believe it, if I don't have an intention that I can help this person, that no matter what that disease is, doesn't matter, I can't really help that person. Because if I limit myself to say, oh, that's fibromyalgic, whatever, then I'm stuck there too. So I have to have an open mind that healing is natural, disease is not natural. See, so that's what helped me to see that the results I get a lot has due to my teacher opening up my eyes to see the possibilities, instead of the problems. You see, so yeah, the results, the intention is important.
Wow.
Important. I mean, not only in medicine, but in everything we do. You know, intention is, you know, because that fuels and pushes the mind there too. You know, and also learn that with results, people, the brain is really a chemical factory. Science is starting to understand that. That, you know, say we talk about the pineal gland, right? In the daytime it makes serotonin, nighttime it makes melatonin, right? But whatever your thought is, that makes your brain produce chemistry exactly in line with that thought. So if you believe, if you're a person that's struck with fear or low self-esteem, you are filling your chemistry in your cells to line up with this. See, so disease, a lot of disease is self-inflicted by our unaware thoughts, you know, that society may give us, or somebody might have done something to you and you have never gotten over that and you're still running a tape and filling your body with that type of thing. So that's another part of getting results with people, is get them to understand the power that they have within their own minds to heal their bodies.
So those, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
So those, those pains that they're harboring, so you're saying basically those cause the blockages?
Yes, because when the mind becomes obsessed with anything, even something great, even something good, like say, oh, you know, water's good, water's great, but when you become obsessed and drink too much water, you have an imbalance. See, so even something good can become something that can cause you're focusing on one thing. So say someone did something to you and it was a long time ago, and you never really forgave that person. And then as time goes on, you have all these diseases and you go to doctors, they take you MRIs, nothing's wrong. But you have all these pains and you can't sleep and you know it's real, and they start to tell you, you know, you sure you don't have psychosomatic? Because you have to let these things go so that the chi can flow. Because your mind, there's a thing in Qigong that says, chi follows the mind.
Okay.
That's what how Qigongs work. That's how healing works. My mind, I'm focused. So whatever you think in your body, so anger, for instance, different emotions affect different organs in Chinese medicine. Anger injures the liver. Okay. Sadness injures the lungs. Let's say worry injures the spleen. And those energetic things do certain things. So when someone comes to me and says, oh, I have this digestive problem and this and that, and I say, well, you know, I ask and I say, are you worried about, oh, I'm worried about my job, I'm worried about my marriage, I'm worried. That's causing all of these physical symptoms.
Okay.
That's why when they go to the doctor, they take a scope, put it in your stomach, everything's fine, we can't find it, but I have reflux, I can't stop. It's not all, but those are the emotional causes of disease, because the chi gets stuck, the liver can't, the spleen can't do its job with digestion, so things come up instead of go down.
Now, what about things that you may have forgotten about that may be causing the blockage? How do you, bring that to the surface?
Great question. Because again, studying what different emotions, which liver and which organ and which meridian is involved in that, gives you clues.
Okay.
It gives you detective clues on this is what's going on, and then you can start to treat that area. So, say, I'm always angry, I have no control of my anger, they send me to anger management. That's the liver. See, I know management, so I start to treat the liver, and in treating the liver and open up the blockages, the person then also starts to get a revelation of what's going on.
Okay.
Because now the chi is flowing and their mind is not blocked. So they start to see, and then if you say, well, did anything happen that you start to ask questions. Okay. Again, because if I'm using needles, I start to ask questions about their history. Did anything happen to you that someone, and then on the table, it'll come up because the meridian's open now. And they'll say, yeah, my father did whatever. And and this, and I don't speak to him, and then you make them aware that this is a liver problem you have, and you tell them other symptoms they have, and they go, really, I do have that too. I didn't know, because the anger, you're not letting it go. It happened a long time ago. You see, so yeah, that's a good question. That happens a lot.
Okay.
Because people, that's the unaware stuff is the worst stuff you don't see coming.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna wrap up. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, so yeah, so that was some real powerful information, man.
Thank you.
I wish we had more time, because this is you really got me open here,
Yeah, well, I'm feeling the fire too, because
wow.
I just appreciate the opportunity to come and tell people about this.
And I
let them get
appreciate
this
you coming.
information to help themselves, you know.
Yeah. For those, anyone that's interested in your services, how do they contact you?
Well, you can give me a call on my number. My number to the office is 646-296-1765. I have a website called joy_acupuncture.com. And that's pretty much the two ways they can contact me, yeah.
Okay, repeat that one more time.
That's 646-296-1765 or joy_acupuncture.com.
Okay, great. And man, I wish it was more time here,
Me
but
too.
I'm definitely gonna have you back on the show.
Great, I would love to come back. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and this evening we are joined by Justin Smith.
What's going on, brother?
And Curtis Serrano. How y'all doing?
We're great. How are you?
Thank you for having
good.
us here, man. It's a lovely show. Thank you, boss.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. And your business is called Creditopia.
Yes, it is.
And both of you have some interesting stories.
Yes.
I'd like to, before we talk about Creditopia, I want to start with Justin.
Okay.
I know that you, before you were doing Creditopia,
Yes.
You had another history in another totally different area of business.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us a little bit about it.
My pleasure. So Justin Smith, 24 years old. Prior to Creditopia, I started a record label, Wealth Pool Inc. It was wonderful. At a young age, I was able to travel the country doing, just promoting music, signing artists, traveling with them, meeting different producers all across the world. It was excellent. Unfortunately, I was still in school. I didn't have much time, nor did I have the financial resources to move forward with continue doing that. I had to put the music thing on the back burner, unfortunately. So now what I'm into is just credit, and this is really what's helping me as a person just to move forward with my my endeavors and things. And the most gratifying feeling is helping people out. My clientele list ranges from 18 years old all the way up to 55 years old. It's a great feeling helping someone at the age of 50 mortgage their first home. And that was thanks to just using our services and using our methods and techniques. So that's kind of my background. I'll let my brother Curtis talk.
So now, so Curtis, what were you involved in the music industry also before you started Creditopia, or you were doing something totally different?
No, I wasn't involved with the music industry per se, but Justin, we've been friends since high school. So, any endeavors or anything that he has going on for him, whether it's music or business endeavors, I would always be there, to support him the best way I can, whether it be going to his shows or going to the studio with him, or just being there, basically.
For support.
Yeah, support. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So now, what made the two of you decide to come together and form Creditopia?
Well, that's a great question. What made us come together to form that business, Creditopia LLC? Justin has been involved with his credit, before I have been involved with my credit. And, he would always tell me, Curtis, you